Let me tell you what I learned from one of the coaching schools I went to called Organization, Relationship, and Systems Coaching School about crossing the edge. To help people cross the edge, sometimes they do need information. Sometimes they do need you to say, hey, we're in this new Agile world, and in this new Agile world, managers are now responsible for creating an environment within which teams can deliver versus trying to drive teams or micromanage teams or whatever it is that they're currently doing. Now, to help you do that, you have to be articulate enough about it and also clear enough about how you can meet them where they are so that you don't overwhelm them or create a lot more resistance from them. So a book I would refer you to for this, it's a brand new book, just came out, I think last year. It's called Evolve Agility, all one word, Evolve Agility by Michael Hamman, H-A-M-M-A-N. He's a colleague of mine, a dear collaborator of mine. But that's not why I'm recommending it to you. I'm recommending it to you because it will give you the language that you first need to put inside of yourself, and then you'll be able to articulate to them. So that's one piece, is information. Sometimes people just need information to go. Because sometimes people will be like, well, hang on. Do you mean that if I stay out of the middle of the sprint and show up at the sprint review and give feedback, that that's actually going to impact what they do? And because I stayed out, they delivered? I want that, right? So sometimes that will help people cross the edge. Sometimes not. Sometimes that's not enough, right? Because people have been behaving a certain way and been rewarded for behaving a certain way for a pretty long time, right? So that's when your professional coaching skills come in. And I encourage you all to take some Agile coaching classes. Now that the world is instantly online, they are way more accessible to you, at least in format, than they have ever been before. And get some basic professional coaching skills under your belt. Because for you to be helpful to a manager who's making this kind of shift, you have to be willing to relax your own perspective and your own preferences and your own agenda and be with them like a professional coach is with their client. Be on their side, even when you're saying something quite challenging to them. But in that professional coaching way, they are still willing to listen and be curious with you and learn about themselves. So that's the other piece. It's helping people cross the edge, is to, if the information doesn't get them over the edge, then it's time to find out what's in it for them to stay on their current side, you know, what's familiar to them, what's comfortable, what might be in it for them to cross that edge personally, and then help them craft an experiment, just like we do with Agile Teams, help them craft an experiment to try it out. So the reason I said this might be disappointing is because it's not a formula. And when we're talking about change, even organizational change, it is often one human at a time. Now, big structural changes, like what Scrum brings in, or at least potentially can bring in, can affect everyone's behavior immediately. But to really get Agile inside of someone so that it's theirs, this idea of information and coaching is the best I've found so far.